Hi guys, got an interesting challenge from Prashant Vishwakarma. His car has to go 75 centimeters straight and then turn to avoid a brick that's been placed at 1 meter. So to my mind that's going to be 3 separate turning operations. We're starting off straight, we're going to have to turn back and then straighten up. To achieve the steering, what I intend to do is, if we assume this is going to be the axle, I'll have the axle at the front of the car, logically, but held in place by pegs that stop it sliding backwards, and it'll be in slots. First peg, here somewhere, when we release it, the axle will be able to slip round like that, making the car turn. Second peg will be here. When we release that, that will swing back here like this and the car will turn the opposite way. And then the third peg will be over here, and that will allow the car to slip back, or the axle to slip back to a straight line, so the car will straighten up again. That's my theory. There's my slots made out of barbecue skewers. The front axle, I'll actually be using a bicycle spoke, so that'll be a nice easy fit in there with plenty of clearance. 2 bits of drinking straw for the back axle to go through. And a nice wide slot there because we need space for the rubber band, and also for the, I'm going to have cotton to wrap round there to pull the levers that are going to do the steering. I've just temporarily assembled it so I can demonstrate the steering capability. So this can move around in those slots. To make the discs that I need to separate the rubber bands and the cotton, I'm going to use some more bottle tops. I'll drill holes through them first, the right size for the axle, and then I'll just cut them off so that they're just the disc and not the screw part. Drilled the holes through the centre, and now I'm just cutting the edge off. For the levers, I'm going to use these paper clips. There's my 3 levers in position. The idea is we're driving along, this lever gets triggered, axle slides back like that so the car turns, then that lever's triggered, axle slides back the other way, car turns the opposite way, and then this one's triggered and the axle straightens up. There you are. So I've just got some clear plastic packaging to hold them in place. So they don't bounce out when it's going along. Now it's going to start getting complicated. Putting the rubber band on is easy. What's going to be difficult is getting the lengths of the cotton right for each of these pulleys, each of these levers. Just had a thought. If I just cut a slot in these discs, I can actually use that to catch the cotton in. First test run, I've just guessed the lengths of the bits of cotton I need. I'm fairly confident they're wrong, but I just want to see if we can get the car to swerve. Well, it swerved. Try again. Well, I think that's about as accurate as I'm going to get. Summary time. I built this car to answer a question by Prashant Vishwakarma. The idea is the car goes straight, it then turns to avoid a brick, or in my case a tin of baked beans, and then it straightens up again. It's supposed to run straight for 75 centimetres and then turn to avoid a brick that's positioned at 1 metre. No idea how accurate it needs to be. I guess in a competition it would be the person who was the most accurate who would win. Anyway, what we've got here, my cardboard chassis, my usual CDs with bottle tops for the hubs, back axle is a barbecue skewer, front axle is a bicycle spoke. We've then got 3 levers which are operated by bits of cotton that you probably can't see that wrap round the back axle as the car goes forward. So the rubber band is wrapped round that way so that it releases going that way, and the cotton goes underneath and wraps up as the axle goes forwards. Those slots there I'd cut in case I needed to tuck the spare cotton out the way, but because we're travelling such a short distance I don't actually need the space. The way the levers work, or the way the steering works, if I turn it over, what we have here is when the first lever is operated, the axle swings like that. Second lever operates, can't quite do it, there we go, swings like that, and then the third lever operates. If I can get my fingers in there, can't quite do it, let's reach underneath and do it. Can't reach it, there we go. And there the axle straightens up again. So that's my steering. It's a 3-stage steering. These rubber bands are to actually force the axle to go back. I was hoping that just the ground, the friction with the wheels rubbing against the ground would push them back, but that wasn't positive enough, so I've added those rubber bands. They've got paper clips going around the front axle, very little friction there, so it doesn't slow the car down, but it does force the axle to move backwards. So that's it.